All right. Well, welcome everyone. Just want to say hi to everybody. We haven't had one of these in a few weeks, and we're excited to kind of start getting these back up again. Our little Zoom in for CRR webinars with some topics that you guys are interested in. So just real quick, we are going to also post the video in the Facebook group later on today or tomorrow. And then we're also trying to live stream this on YouTube. So that should be getting started here in a minute. I'm going to post the link on the in the Facebook group. So if somebody wasn't able to attend, maybe they'll be able to see it that way. So that's something kind of new that Ed's doing. And we thank Ed Como for doing all of this for us, taking care of the video portion of this and the registration, because it just makes it really easy for everybody. So today we're going to have Miss Rebecca Clark from Windsor Fire Department in Colorado. And she's going to talk about some social media use for getting our messages out and how we can best do that. Rebecca's a good friend of mine, so y'all treat her nice. Don't throw any tomatoes at her.
I do like tomatoes though, but please don't throw them. So hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Clark and I am with Windsor Severance Fire Rescue in beautiful Windsor, Colorado, home of 300 days of sunshine a year. And I'm really grateful to both Ed and Sylvia for helping to get this put together so I could bring it to you. My job with Windsor is the life safety educator, and I also do a lot of our public information stuff. So I'm in charge of all of our social media accounts. I'm one of the admins of all of our social media accounts. So that's kind of my purview. And before then, I used to own a game store for tabletop games, board games, card games, and all of that. And so a lot of that, it was involved in building my community and social media. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And I'm really grateful that everybody was interested in this class so that we could go through it. So I am going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here in just one second. Just a sec to get my PowerPoint ready.
So while you're doing that, we will make sure that if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll try to do most of them at the end, just for time's sake, since we don't want to go over the hour too far, just to avoid using up too much of your time. So that being said, we'll go back to Miss Rebecca.
Okay, so let me go ahead and now I will be more than happy to share my screen. Okay, so welcome to engaging your digital community, something that I think has become a lot more important to a lot of us over the last year during COVID. So hopefully at the end of this webinar, so I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation that'll have different parts to it. And then as soon as the PowerPoint's done, I'm actually going to go into our different social media accounts and show you how to access all of the things that I just talked to you about, and how to really see what your reach is, how to do your posts, where you should be monitoring all of your insights. So after the PowerPoint, I'll go into each of our different social media platforms that I'm talking about and show you how they work for us. So my name, like I said, is Rebecca Clark, and I am the life safety educator for Windsor Severance Fire Rescue. A little bit of background about Windsor Severance Fire Rescue. We are 108 square miles located in beautiful northern Colorado. We are both rural and suburban. We are comprised of 2 different municipalities with a total population of 47,000. So Windsor, our bigger municipality, has 35,000, and Severance has about 12,000. And our 2 cities together are experiencing a growth rate of just over 17%, with Severance growing at a rate of about 26%. So our population has been increasing like crazy. Our population doubled from 2000 to 2010, and then it doubled again from 2010 through 2020. So that's why engaging in the different ways that we do is really important to us to reach all those people who are coming in and those who are already here. We have 3 stations that are staffed full-time. We have 52 career personnel and 10 volunteers. And our life safety division, which is under the direction of our Fire Marshal Chief Sandra Friedrichsen, was created in May of 2019 with the addition of 2 new positions, one of which was mine as life safety educator and fire inspector, and the other was life safety specialist, Fire Inspector Morgan Matthew. And so the 3 of us comprise our life safety division, and most of the public education, community outreach, and community risk reduction falls under my job description. So you guys are all here because I'm sure you guys have been at those crossroads as well, where there is just so much to do and so much information. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Nextdoor, and you'll know about Nextdoor if you didn't already. And there's even the cute little birdie, there is Twitter. There is so many different platforms and so many ways to reach your digital audience. So digital engagement should still focus on the 3 Ps of community involvement. So the first one, of course, being public education. These are going to be your safety messages and lessons, your classes and events. Then you get to your public relations. So these are goodwill building opportunities, your community events, and your collaborations. So these are things where when you're using your social media, oftentimes you'll do cross posts with your towns, your boards, your school districts, things like that. And then you've got your public information, and these are usually delivered in an official capacity, usually by the public information officer. These can be your news releases, your emergency messages, your media relations. So you still want to make sure when you're using your social media that you're covering those 3 Ps and that everything that you post has a really focused intent behind it. So I think this is a fun graphic because what we say matters and how we say matters, especially when we're doing it digitally, because sometimes you may mean something to come across one way and you post it and others take it a different way. So I like this because it shows, you see these two images of water. The only thing that changes is the vision of the water and the font that it's used in, but most of the time we read it in 2 totally different voices inside their head. At least I know I do. And everybody that I show it to, they're like, oh, I did that as well. I'm like, yeah, right. One sounds water and the other's like a little squiggly water. So I think it's fun to use that. And it just points out that how we say we need to really be very focused in it so that it spreads the message that we want it to. So where to begin? Because I'm sure you guys have heard of TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Nextdoor. There are so many, WhatsApp. There's so many different platforms, but Facebook is still the #1 way to engage digitally with your audience. So this graph right here shows the number of active users in the millions per month. Twitter can be important for getting out important messages immediately. So if you have a traffic closure or you have a big storm coming or something like that, really important emergency messages are good to get out over Twitter. Instagram is growing incredibly fast, and it is best for posting picture-based messages with very little text. And then Nextdoor for public agencies is a really, really great platform that we use. It allows you to target specific areas. And when we get to Nextdoor, I'll show you how you can pick subdivisions, zip codes. You can even add census tracts in there so that you can target those specific areas. And then, like I said, this is the number of active users in the millions. So you can see at the top, Facebook is still king. It really, really is king. Underneath that is YouTube. If you guys don't have a YouTube channel, you should totally get one. And then some of the other ones are ones that we don't necessarily use, but then the third social media app platform on there is Instagram. And then you go to TikTok videos, things like that. And way down there is Twitter. So Twitter is kind of dying out in the number of active users on it, and Facebook. And that's why a lot of what we'll do today focuses on Facebook and how to use Facebook. So like I said, Facebook, this is our homepage. So always make sure that your cover photo isn't stagnant. You don't want the same stagnant picture all the time. And you're gonna see as I go through these different platforms, our profile picture for each of the platforms is exactly the same. It's our logo. That creates brand consistency. Anytime that you can create brand consistency, it helps in recognition. So try to do that across all platforms so that when they see your little logo pop up, they know that it's an official post from you guys. Brand consistency is key towards social media recognition. So Facebook, our landing page, our cover page, who we are, and then same thing for Instagram, our same logo, and then our landing page for Instagram, Nextdoor, and it's the same banner from our Facebook cover page as well with our logo. So it creates brand consistency throughout all the platforms, so they always know that they got our actual verified account. Okay, so I'm a huge Trekkie, by the way, so I've got Picard here, and hopefully you heard this engage in your minds. But this talks about the difference between reach and engagement, because a lot of people get confused on the different metrics, which the main metrics that we measure in social media is the reach versus the engagement. And so to engage or not to engage is the question. Reach is how many people see your post or your message. It's indicative of how large your audience is. So it's really, you go out to a concert and there's 50,000 people there. That could basically be what it's like. It's just the reach. How many people see that? How many people's news feeds it comes across? How many people get notifications that you posted something? But you don't just want to rely on reach, because you could have a reach for a post of 14,000 people, but your engagement is far less. Engagement measures how many people actually interacted with your post. So this is how many people liked or reacted to it. It's how many people commented, how many people shared your post, or how many people clicked see more, because most of the social media platforms only give a small portion of your actual post in people's news feeds. And then if they click see more, that counts as an engagement, because what they saw drew them in enough that they then wanted to see the entire message. So you're really, when you're posting, you want to monitor your engagement. That should be your goal, always how much engagement you get. So, and then save posts. So this is taken from Facebook Business Suite, and it's one of the platforms that I'll show you here in just a little bit. And this shows our engagement for our department across all of our platforms. So in here, you can see right here, so we do all of our posts, and we use Facebook Business Suite for this because it cross posts to both YouTube and to Instagram. So here you can see we posted the same message on both Instagram and on Facebook. On Facebook, it had a reach of 7,300. On Instagram, it had a reach of 1,000. Now I'm going to admit that until about 5 months ago, I did not use Instagram. I focused mainly on Facebook until Facebook Business Suite came out, and I learned that I could do more cross-posting. So now we're working at building both our Instagram account as well. But you can see our Facebook reach is far larger than our Instagram. And it shows on this post, we had 1,300 post engagements, 802 reactions, and 31 comments. Instagram was a lot smaller. And usually for us, Instagram is the smaller one. So then another thing that a lot of these sites and social media platforms do is they provide you insights. And insights are great because this is how you know whether your message is reaching who you want. So for us, we can see that on Facebook, we have an audience of 8.8 thousand, and Instagram followers, we have 2.1 thousand. And so take that into account when you think of our district that is only about 47,000 people. The fact that we have 8.8 thousand page likes on Facebook for us is huge. It shows that a large portion of our community is actually monitoring our Facebook page. And then it breaks it down even further into whether you're reaching women or whether you're reaching men and the different age groups. And this can really help you tailor make your messages. If you know that your audience is predominantly women in between the ages of 25 and 44, then you know most likely you are reaching families. At least in our area, that's our family demographic. And so you can tailor make your message to reach that group. So, and I'll show you how to find all of the insights for your pages here at the end of the slideshow. But that's what all these insights are great for, because they show you who you're reaching. And then even further, they can show you where you're from. So we can look at this, and I know that at least a quarter of all the people who are engaging and reacting and reaching through our posts are from Windsor, and that is our largest municipality that we serve. And Severance is down there underneath the other ones, and Fort Collins is second. That could be because we have a little bit of a zip code overlap with Fort Collins for some of our areas that are growing in the north. But it is, we make a valiant effort to spread our messages as far as we can. And you guys are gonna learn so much that you're gonna, hopefully, that you're gonna love. I love this stuff. I love data, and I love knowing exactly what I'm doing. I like the why behind what I do. Okay, so now what, right? It can be kind of confusing because now you know who you're reaching, you know where you're reaching, you know what age they're from, you know which platform, but now what do we do with it? So when to post. This is one of the most important things that you can learn how to do, is when to post. And like I said, I love numbers. And one of the things that I love is a study that was released earlier this year about the effects of COVID on social media engagement. So prior to COVID, the best times to post were between 11 and 1 to 2. So 1100 and 13 to 1400. Those were the best times to post prior to COVID. The best day was Wednesday. I don't know, maybe because it's hump day and people are kind of dragging at work and they're like, oh, let's get on Facebook and see what's going on. And then the worst day was Sunday. And that anybody can guess, don't post on Sunday. People are with their families. They're more disengaged from social media platforms. So if you post something on Sunday, unless it's an emergency message, chances are not as many people are going to engage with it. Now, post-COVID, best times to post, instead of being at 11 and then 13 to 1400, became 10 to 1100. So between 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning is the best time to post to your social media platforms due to COVID. That may change. I think they'll probably have another study out later this year after things start to open up and stuff. And I can see it going back, but people are very, very used to being home and being on social media more. So it could stay that way for a while. And then best day, this I found extremely interesting. Before, where there was one day that showed the most actual engagement, now it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that could be because people are checking in on Monday to see what's happening. Wednesday, once again, it's hump day. And Friday, people are like, oh, I made it through another week at home instead of being at my office. And so they want to go engage with the world. And then same, worst day, still Sunday. I cannot reiterate this enough. Unless it's an emergency and you have to post, try not to post on Sunday, okay? And then when to post for nonprofits. We're in this interesting group between typical nonprofits and regular business pages, because a lot of people don't think about fire departments as a nonprofit. So we don't really, for our department, we don't really go off these numbers as much, because we get a lot less engagement for things that post at 8 o'clock in the morning. Because our audience is used to us posting, and we have a great viewer base, I think, and I can prove it with the data. So we have a great base that tunes into what we say. So same thing though, best day to post is Wednesday. And if you are a nonprofit, worst days to post are Saturday and Sunday. But you know, same thing for departments, for fire departments, police agencies, anything else like that. Most of the time people don't think about us as a nonprofit, and we have a little bit more clout than just a regular nonprofit or a business, because they see us as the public facing do-gooders in the community. So they are more likely to engage in what we're doing. Okay, now what to post. I'm going to talk about the 4 different types of posts that that engage your audience. So the first thing that you want to post is videos. Videos get the most engagement. I'm just going to show you a really quick 1-minute video that is our most watched video ever. As soon as it pulls up. Sec. And here we go. We like to make fun videos that show who we are, what we do, and
Okay, I got your daily schedule for today. You've got your town planning meeting. You've got your Empower. You've got your Lieutenant Academy in Loveland at 11. You've got your rescheduled budget planning meeting this afternoon. And then you have a Rotary meeting social. So as you can see, you've got a pretty busy day today. I don't want to turn back time, but this Saturday, don't forget, change your clocks, change your batteries. We're putting our clocks back an hour. We want to remind you, make sure you put new batteries in your smoke alarms. That may save your life.
okay, let me get back to my slideshow. Okay, so I love that. And that is one of our most shared videos and most commented and reacted to video that we've ever posted. Our second one was one that we did for Groundhog Day when we were expecting a big storm, and it was the day before Super Bowl Sunday. So we had, instead of Puxatawny Phil, we had firefighter Phil, because Colorado meteorologists, they need special help because our weather is ever changing. So videos receive the most engagement. When you're posting a video, you need to make sure that it is a minimum of 30 seconds and usually a maximum of 3 minutes. Most videos, the audience will stop watching it after about 2.5 minutes. So when you're posting a video, make sure it's a minimum of 30 seconds and a maximum of 3 minutes. Really, you want to try for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes for a video for it to get the most likes and reacts. After videos, contests. Contests get the second best engagement. So a couple weeks ago, we were expecting another snowpocalypse here in northern Colorado. And last year I did this same contest with a few different parameters. So this year, I just made a Facebook post, both to Facebook and to Instagram, that said, hey, comment below to guess how many inches of snow will accumulate at the end of this storm. And our post, as you can see, had 1,200 engagements. So we reached 5,500 people. We had 1,200 engagement. And then the best part is 289 comments. So at least 289 people read through the entire post and took the time to comment with their guest. So that type of engagement on a simple post like that is golden, because I'll show you what I do with that afterward. So anytime we get all those likes, comments, and stuff like that, this is how you can manually build your audience. So you can manually build your reach. So contests are the second best thing to post. After that is pictures. If you guys have anything involving pets, post it. Things with pets, things with your personnel, things like retirements, promotions. We are live streaming our badge pinning ceremony tonight. We have three firefighters that are getting promoted to engineers, and then we have 3 new firefighters coming on the line. So we are live streaming our badge pinning ceremony, and all of our live streamed promotional ceremonies and retirement ceremonies that we've live streamed have some of our highest engagement and views as well. And so then pictures, if you can post pictures of your personnel, of something that they accomplished, you know, if somebody finished their master's degree, or if you guys rescue a dog or a cat, post it to social media. It blows up like crazy. It gets the most engagement, gets likes, reacts, shares, everything. So anything involving your personnel or pets get incredible amounts of engagement. The thing that gets the least amount of engagement is a wall of text. If you are going to just post a wall of text, find some goofy picture that you can with it and post it with it so that it still reaches its intended audience, because Facebook's algorithms rank posts according to what is posted, and they rank text, just a simple text, as the least important thing. So it doesn't show up in as many people's news feeds. So videos will show up in more news feeds. After that, things like contests, because usually you have a picture and they get the most engagement, then pictures, and then text. That's the level of engagement and the Facebook algorithms. So now you've been making your post, you're doing all this, you're like, oh, 30 people liked my post, that's awesome. But what you need to do is monitor your engagement. It may sometimes feel like you are running a marathon, and I don't run, but social media needs to be a very intentional action. You can't just send it out into the world and hope it gets where you need it to be. You need to be checking your social media every day, even if you're not posting, to do some of the following. You want to respond to messages. You should always turn on reviews and messaging in your social media platforms, because it gives people a way to contact you guys directly. Make sure that you have a point person who is supposed to respond to messages. And then respond to comments. If you're posting, we've made a post about Station 4, we're building Station 4, and people would comment below it, and Chief Kazian would go in and he would answer their questions on social media. Our community loves that because they can ask us something and we'll respond. Check your post engagements and insights. And this is what we're about to get into. And I think it's just so fascinating because you can see which posts get the best engagement. And you can see, oh, we posted this and barely anybody liked it and nobody shared it. So then you can retool your message and figure out what it was that you did that kind of turned people off and didn't get them to engage in what you were saying. So always check your post engagements and insights. And then one of the most important things you can do as well is compare your department against others to gauge their engagement. And I'm going to show you guys this. It's one of the best tools that you have on Facebook and Facebook Business Suite is you can follow other departments, other agencies, and see their metrics as well. A smaller amount of their metrics, but you can see their new likes, how many people they've reached, how many posts they've made, and stuff like that. And you can gauge your own agency's metrics against that and be like, ooh, what did they post about that got such a great reaction? And then if it's a message that you want to spread as well, you can create your own message and post it and hopefully get the same type of reach and engagement. And then you want to track your likes to watch for trends. And I'm going to show you how you can see when you have a drop, when people unlike your page, and maybe you spread a message that not everybody liked and you got 10 unlikes that day. And you can try to figure out, like in that graphic with the water, maybe the way that you meant it to come across isn't how it came across. So Facebook Business Suite, I've mentioned it a couple times, but it combines both Facebook and Instagram together in one easy to use platform. It provides the ability to post to both platforms at the same time. And you can schedule posts and provides the most insights for both Facebook and Instagram. And from the graph earlier, Facebook and Instagram together control like over 70% of all social media engagement for businesses and agencies like ours. So you really want to make sure you are using Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so now let's see this in action. Okay, so I am going to, okay, so you guys can all still see my second screen. I'm just gonna hurry and do this really quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing again. So we are going to start with Facebook. That's where we're going to start. So this is our department's Facebook page. And sorry, oops. Okay, so our department's Facebook page. You need to be set up as an editor or as an admin for your department's page. And it's linked to, you have to have a personal Facebook account, and then your business page, which is your agency's page, can add as many admins or editors as they want. I'm an admin for all of our social media accounts, so that's why I have access to all of this. And if you aren't, then you will want to be, because it's really the easiest way to determine who is doing what and how it's reacting. So just scrolling through our Facebook page, one of the advantages to this is you can see exactly who posts something. So this is a post that I did earlier this week to say, hey, we're going to be going live on Thursday night. And so it shows who posted that, published by Rebecca Clark. Down here, we get to where whenever we have road closures, our battalion chiefs that are on duty will post to Instagram and cross-post it to Facebook to let people know when a road is closed. So that's when we know here, and it's published by Instagram Windsor Severance Fire Rescue. We know that that was most likely the BCs letting us know that they're letting the public know that there was a road closure. So going through, you're able to track who posts what, when it's posted. Chief Bess is one of our battalion chiefs, who is also our PIO. And so this is just scrolling through our Facebook feed, seeing what we do, seeing how they react and stuff like that. But over here on the left-hand side, this is really the meat of your Facebook. So you want to go over here and go over here to Insights, okay? And it's one of the menu options there on your page, Insights. And this is where you can really start to get a better understanding of what is going on your Facebook page. So right here is our Facebook metrics. So it shows us our most recent recent posts. It shows our reach and our engagement. So you can go through all of our different posts and see what we did and how it reached our audience, how they were engaging. You can see if they were sharing it, if they were liking it, and it breaks it down even further. When you go into it, you can see if people reacted to it from your page or based off of somebody else sharing it. And I'll show you how you build on that. And then, like I said earlier, you want to watch departments around you to see what they're posting. So I started following for our department 5 other agencies. So South Metro is to the south of us. They're around the Denver area, and they're one of the larger departments in the state of Colorado as well. And then Poudre Fire Authority is just to the north of us in Fort Collins, Colorado. Loveland is just to the west and south of us. Greeley Fire is just to the east of us, and Front Range Fire Rescue is actually where I live, and they're just to the south of us as well. So I live in Front Range's district. So the interesting thing in this is, of these top 5 right here, we are actually the smallest department and the smallest population. So in order of population, South Metro has a population of just over 500,000, I think. Poudre Authority has a population of about 150,000. Loveland, I think their population is somewhere around 75, 80,000. We've got us with 47,000. Greeley has close to 75, 80,000. And then Front Range is sitting at about 22,000. So you can see the difference in likes here, where South Metro has a population of just over 500,000 people, and they have 23.3 thousand likes. So you can kind of find a little bit of what % of their public is engaged on their social media, on Facebook specifically. And I'll show you how to grow that organically here in a minute, and see same thing with Facebook, with Poudre Fire. So you're able to determine, based off of all these metrics, how well your department's doing based off of your population and how many people like your page, which is basically a follow. And then what I like to do is I like to go in and I'll say, okay, so South Metro had 3.4 thousand engagement this week. I wonder what they posted. So if you click on their department, then it'll show you what their top posts were for this week. So like I said, promotions. Promotions are always popular with people. So they're talking about Captain Mike Simons, who just retired after 33 and a half years on the department. So that one had 208 reacts, 12 comments, 7 shares. Another one that they posted was basically a public information, so about a fire that they received. And then going back further, same thing, more emergency operations. Their South Metro is really good about posting their emergency operations and interesting calls that the public might find important, and then jobs and stuff like that. And so then you can go down to, I can go down to Loveland and see what it was that they posted. So see, like I said, another personnel story. So Fire Chief Dick Miner, the new sculpture that they did. So anything that you can do that makes your agency seem more personable and gives people a little bit of buy-in into who you are and why we work the way that we do, why we're involved in our communities, get such good engagement and reactions. So anytime you can do that, try it. And then of course, people love seeing our firefighters in action. So that's how you can gauge yourself against other agencies and really monitor your growth. You can also see their like. One of the things that I do, just because I like numbers, is I monitor our likes and our increase of likes. When I started back in May of 2019, we had just over 5,300 likes. And in the last almost 2 years now that I've been there, we've grown our page by over 3,000 likes. And for me, I feel that that's an accomplishment because it's something that we really wanted to take. We wanted to grow our social media. We wanted to get our community engaged. So this is Facebook Insights, and that's how you can see how your page is performing. You can go through it even further, and you can go see your likes, and it'll show you graphs about your likes. And remember I said, you can go back and see when people don't like your page, when they unlike it. So we could see on this day, we had 2 unlikes. On this day, we had 2 more unlikes. So then I could use that and I would go to see what we posted on March 24th that caused us to lose those followers. And like this one, we had three unlikes this day. So I'm like, oh, what did I post that day that, because that day we had 3 unlikes, but we had 13 new likes. So it's kind of a wash. We're not everybody's cup of tea, but it's really interesting to see. You can go back and see what your messages were saying and what it could possibly do to make it so people don't like what you're doing. And then how your page likes happen. I mentioned this a minute ago. It's whether or not they see it from your page, from the news feed. The restored from inactivated accounts, from search for other and page suggestions. This is when somebody like shares your page. That's somebody sees that, another person sees it, likes it, and then that's where it shows up under. So monitoring these to see how people are reacting to your posts is super important. So now we're going to go over to Instagram. Well, we can go here. So page reach. And remember the difference between reach and engagement. Reach is just how many people's news feeds it showed up on, and engagement is how many people actually interacted with what you put out there. And so this shows our reach. And for the most part, our reach is usually pretty good. The last couple of weeks, we've been super busy with other community stuff. So our social media hasn't been up as much as I would like it to be, but we've been multitasking a lot of stuff. So just all of this stuff. So going to your page insights, you can see these different topics: overview, followers, ads, likes, page views, actions on page. So all of these are really good metrics to show you what you're doing and how it's reaching your audience. And so from Facebook, we are going to go really quickly to Nextdoor for public agencies. So Nextdoor for public agencies is one of my favorite apps for getting sorry, just one second. Oh, back to Nextdoor. Okay, so it's one of my favorite platforms for communicating directly to the people that live in our district. So if you don't have a Nextdoor for public agencies set up yet, you really want to, because when you set it up, you get to put in your entire district. So for our district, it shows that we have 17,492 households in our district, which is pretty accurate based off of our population. And then out of those 17,000 households, 18,000 people have signed up for Nextdoor in our district. So this shows our district, and we get to set these boundaries. And so this is everywhere that we cover, which for us is a very large amount of space. But the best thing about Nextdoor is you don't have to send it out to everyone. If you're going to post a specific message, you actually can choose specific subdivisions, zip codes, or census tracts to post that message to. So when I'm wanting to get more people to sign up for our reflective address signs, which are part of our home safety project, when I create our message, I go in and I select the specific areas that I want, and then all of those people get an email saying, hey, have you gotten one of our reflective address signs yet? Because we can't find you if we can't see you. And so it's very tailor-made because you can make it as broad as you want or as narrow. So Nextdoor for public agencies is a really good tool to use. We use it, we send out we were sending out weekly messages from Chief Kazian, but now that things have started going back to normal, we have started going back to just one message every other week. And I'm gonna let you guys know right now, a lot of seniors use Nextdoor a lot more than they use Facebook. When I go into the households in our district, so many times I hear from our residents, I love Chief K's messages. I wait every week to get his email and see what's going on, because they don't use Facebook and they don't use Instagram, but they or probably one of their children signed them up for Nextdoor. And once they sign up for Nextdoor with their address, since we've got it set up as a public agency for us, it automatically adds them to our public agency, and then we can reach them anytime that we want. So Nextdoor is a really, really good tool that you can use. We send out emergency messaging to it. If we have a water main break, we can send out an emergency alert just to the area affected by that water main break. So Nextdoor for public agencies is a really, really good tool that you should be using. And in here, it shows for us, it shows all the neighborhoods in there. So you can go in it and we can zoom in as close as we want. And it breaks it down into different neighborhoods. So we can select different places when we want to post. So it's a really, really good tool for figuring out specific areas that you want to target. When we are doing our home safety project, and we're going to be replacing the smoke alarms in senior residents in a certain area, a certain subdivision, we're able to send out an email message just to that area and say, hey, if you are over the age of 65 and your smoke alarms are more than 10 years old, we will replace them for you. And that way we get them to contact us. We go out, we replace all their smoke alarms, and we're able to just to target that one neighborhood, that one area. And it's a really, I can't say enough how much I love Nextdoor for public agencies. So after Nextdoor for public agencies, we go to Instagram, okay? Instagram is growing. It's extremely popular with those who are under the age of 30, so, which I am not. But Instagram is extremely popular. Just remember the Instagram feeds are different than your Facebook feeds. So as you can see, as you browse through an Instagram feed, it just shows a picture. Facebook, when you go to your Facebook page, of course, shows you the message along with the picture. So that's why with Instagram, you need to make sure that you're posting pictures. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Whenever you're creating digital media to post to your social media platforms, get in the habit now of creating everything in a square. Instagram's platform uses squares. So if you're posting in any type of different ratio, it'll automatically crop it and you could lose the most important part of the image. So get in the habit of posting things in a square format, just a one-to-one square format. So the way that Instagram works is you post a picture and you post text under it. So if somebody wants to see more, they actually have to click on it and then they'll get the message that goes along with it. So it's a little bit different with Facebook. Facebook, you at least see part of the message before you see the picture. It's all together. But with Instagram, if they're just browsing your feed, all they're going to see is on pictures. So you want to make sure your pictures are interesting and engaging so that people like them. So here's our International Women's Day post with all of us at our department saying how great it is that our department is so supportive of all of us and stuff. So Instagram, picture-based, they have to actually click on the picture to read your message. Okay, and then I mentioned Facebook Business Suite. When Facebook Business Suite first came out, I hated it because I was used to posting to Facebook and posting to Instagram. And then Facebook Business Suite came out and I was like, how do I do this? But since I have gotten used to it and I took a couple of webinars on it, by the way, Facebook has an amazing community forum where you can watch videos of all these different things and learn how to use them. They have Facebook marketing videos. Facebook really has a great source of help topics for you to really learn how to use it to the best that you can. Okay, so Facebook Business Suite ties both your Instagram and your Facebook pages together so that when you post to one, you can post to both. And it shows you the insights for both platforms together. And like I said, they are the two combined responsible for almost 3/4 of all social media engagement. So using both of them together is what is extremely important. So this shows our trends. And that's another thing I love about Facebook Business Suite. This is where I got some of my graphics from earlier, is it shows you your trends and how you're going. It also can break it down further into your content and what it is that your content is reaching. So this was a post that I made during our winter storm that we had. It is one of our most engaged posts ever. We had our big snowstorm, and we had been putting out public safety messages for about 4 days leading up to the snowstorm. But then when it finally hit, I had been telling people, make sure you clear your vents, make sure you clear your vents. And I realized afterward, some people may not know what we mean when we say clear your vents and clear your hydrants. And so I went out, and when I was shoveling my back porch to clear my vents, I snapped a picture, made a Facebook and Instagram post, and posted it to our Facebook and Instagram pages. And it was shared 118 times. And it's just a simple picture of the back of my house with me shoveling around my vents. But that picture was shared 118 times. And I have friends on the East Coast who are like, hey, Rebecca, we saw your post. Our fire department shared your post. I'm like, yes, that increases your reach. And what you can do with that, I'll show you just here in just 1 second. But yeah, so these are Facebook Business Suite insights. And then once you're in Facebook Business Suite, this is where you can schedule all of your posts. So when I'm going to post, I go to Facebook Business Suite, and I have my little tools handy. So you can either publish something instantly or you can schedule it, which is great. So our badge pinning ceremony, we scheduled that. But if you're going to make a post, you can go in and you can just choose whatever it is that you want to post. You can schedule it. Remember, Wednesdays are the best days. So April 14th would be a great day. I would say probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. Sounds like a stellar time to post. And then always make sure, if you want to post it to your Facebook page and your Instagram page, make sure they're both checked. Be aware, Facebook or Instagram doesn't let you do link previews. So link previews is where if you post a link to something, it'll show a thumbnail, or if it's a video, it'll automatically start playing that video. Instagram doesn't do that. So if you're going to do something that is video based, you might get better engagement if you post it just to Facebook. When you're doing this though, and you are posting it to both platforms, you can post it, I want to post. And then I have to just add a photo because you cannot post to Instagram without a photo. So we will post we're not really gonna post it, but my senior is graduating in less than a month. And so once I get that, it gives me the ability to change the message for both Instagram and Facebook. And the reason that that's important is because Instagram uses hashtags to help get your message across. Facebook doesn't. So if I want to post to Instagram, I can say, I want to post hashtag senior, and then I can do senior hashtag graduation, right? So then it's showing that on Instagram, which will get me better reach because hashtags show up in people's searches. But then in Facebook, fortunately, it's not there. So I want to post that my son is graduating. Okay, so you can tool it for both while still using the one method for doing it. So Instagram, you can tool it that way. Facebook, you can tool it that way. And then I would schedule it, but I'm actually not going to schedule it because as much as I think my cute little boy is adorable, I don't think my fire chief would appreciate me posting his senior pictures to our social media. But that is Facebook Business Suite. And in it, you can go see everything that you've published, and then it'll show you also who published it, when it was published, how all of the engagement goes. So you can go and remember, I think I said like March 4th, something we posted, people unliked us. Oh, okay, that's when we were posting about our board of directors meeting. We did 2 posts on the same day. We try not to do more than 1 post a day, because if you post too much, people will stop paying attention. So you will see a direct correlation between too many posts and your engagement going down. So try not to make multiple posts every single day. But that's when we posted about our board or directors meeting, and then wanting feedback for our strategic planning meeting. So that, I know it's so much information so quickly, and that's why I'm really, really glad that we are about to do a Q&A, because I'm hoping you guys have questions and that I can show you more information. But, and I know that this is recorded, so you guys can go back and see it. But as an agency, you really just want to work on getting on at least Instagram and Facebook. And then if you can, Nextdoor for public agencies, and then Twitter if you're wanting to get emergency messages like road closures and things like that. So then I think I can bring Ed and Sylvia back online and we can do some Q&A, right?
Okay, Sylvia, do you want to do it, or do you want me to go through these?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat, and we had a question here from Kim Staus. Where and how did you add the surrounding departments? I can't seem to find it on my business suite.
Okay, so that's a great, so don't go to your business suite, go to your Facebook page. So go to your Facebook page, and then when you go into, here, I'll share again. Okay, so make sure, don't be in business suite, go to your actual Facebook page, go over to the left-hand side to Insights. And then once you get to Insights, you scroll down here, pages to watch. So you go over to Insights, scroll all the way down, and pages to watch. And then you want to click on Add Pages. You can't follow an enormous amount. I choose to just follow 5 other departments, but that's how you do it. You have to go to your Facebook page, you go over to Insights, and you scroll all the way down to pages to watch, and then you just add pages for surrounding departments.
A few people have been asking if your PowerPoint's going to be available for them.
Yeah, I can send it to you as a PDF if you'd like, Ed.
Sure, and then we'll figure out how to get it out, right, Sylvia?
Yeah, or you can upload it in the group.
Oh, I can upload it into the group too. And then if we want to send it out to the CR Net group, we can do that as well.
Yep. Question from the Facebook page. Is it okay to turn off comments on posts if it is just an informative post?
So you would have to check your local jurisdiction, but as a public agency, we are not allowed to hide posts. We're not allowed to hide comments. Even when Facebook automatically will hide some that have really bad cuss words, but as a public agency, you are not supposed to delete comments or hide comments. If you get into the habit of turning off the commenting ability, people will be less likely to engage.
Okay. Do you have any experience with Hootsuite or any other social media management tools?
I have not used Hootsuite, so maybe I will look into that.
Actually, I use Hootsuite.
Oh, okay.
And I love it. I think I like it because it just aggregates everything in one place.
All of them together? That's awesome.
Oh, it's all that I use, to be quite honest with you. So I think Hootsuite's a great tool. If you have a lot of social media channels that you have to manage, it is a very elegant way to do it in my mind.
Well, I'm going to look that up now.
We need Ed to do a webinar on it.
There's some things on the Facebook page too about YouTube taking down videos because of copyright music.
Okay, so I was going to mention that earlier and I totally forgot. So when you are posting something to YouTube and you have music like our Turn Back Time video, it doesn't get taken down. All it says is that you cannot make money off of that. So if you use anything that is copyrighted, you can't profit from it. So we can use things like the Turn Back Time clip. And I use a website called bensound.com for a lot of my other audio that I get in the videos that we make. But if you have anything that is copyrighted, they won't necessarily take it down, but they'll flag it as you cannot profit from it.
Okay, that's kind of interesting because I have had stuff taken down because of
Have you?
copyright issues. But also I just noticed, and maybe this has been a while, I just noticed it. YouTube has a new feature that when you upload videos now, it automatically checks for copyright issues.
Yes, it does. It
Can-
automatically does. Yep.
And they also have their own library of copyright-free music that you can use
Yeah.
as well.
And when you're setting your YouTube audience, you have to be really careful about whether you're saying it's made for children, not made for children, and all of that information as well.
I'm not seeing anything else. Are you seeing anything, Sylvia?
Yeah, there's a question in the Q&A portion. It says from Heather Parker, how much of your time is dedicated to social media with your position?
How much of so when I get frustrated writing reports or doing anything like that, I go on and check. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you guys is when you go to your Facebook page, this is how you can organically grow your user base. So you go, oops, wrong thing. I meant to go here. And that's a really difficult thing too, because all of my work social media accounts have to link to my personal social media accounts. So I have to be super careful that I'm posting to the department. So something that you can do to organically grow your page is go in, and I do this a couple times a week. I'll go into our posts and you click on everybody that has liked or reacted it. And then if they don't already like your page, you can invite them. You click on invite and invite them to like your page. And that's how you can manually grow your audience. And so a couple times a week, I will go into Facebook and Instagram and invite them to like us or invite them to follow us. And that's why a lot of these are already done, because I go through quite frequently. I should have not yet, but I do. So I probably spend probably about 5 hours a week at least on our social media, just getting likes, seeing where we're going and making posts. I spend a lot more time than that making our graphics and other stuff. I've been working to create a big database of the things that we like, especially since we're posting to Instagram a lot more, and a lot of our graphics were formatted for Facebook and not for Instagram. So now I'm going back and reformatting them all into a square format for cross posting. So I do spend probably 30 to 60 minutes a day checking our social media and all of that stuff. So and like I said, it's a focused intent, because especially during COVID, when we couldn't get out there into the community, it was our way to engage with them. So we did things like firefighter storytime videos that we released Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays for 3 weeks. We did birthday parades. Chief Casey started his messages, and we really amped up our social media presence, because we knew that that was the only way that we were going to be able to engage with our community. And now going forward, we know that it's one of the easiest ways for us to engage with our community.
Yeah, I've got a question for you on videos.
Yeah.
Do you close caption them?
So once we post to YouTube, we do the auto generate closed caption. And then with Premiere Pro, with Adobe Premiere Pro, by the way, Adobe Suite is like my favorite thing in the world. I use all of its applications. We do a lot of closed captioning in the new videos that we've been making, just because of our elderly population.
And I've got a great service too. If you're looking for automatic closed captioning, rev.com. That's
Rev.com.
rev.com.
I like that.
Pretty cheap and very responsive on getting stuff done quickly. So.
Because yeah, with other ones, I sit there and I pause it and I type it, and I pause it and I type it. So that would be nice.
Yeah, I find it worth it just paying for them to do it.
There's one more question from Jenny Overbay. How do you create social media graphics and control the size, like making it a square?
Oh, so I use Adobe Photoshop. So I use the whole entire Adobe suite of products. I use Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro. And so I go in and so on, let me see. I still sharing? Yes, okay. So when I posted about the storm and I posted this, where is it? Right down, sorry. I post a lot, obviously. This graphic by FEMA. And if you're gonna use something that any other agency has created, make sure you don't cut out all their trademarks and copyrights. So this was originally a square, but I needed it, I mean, it was originally an 8.5 by 11 PDF. And I needed it to be a 1 by 1 square photo. So I ended up photoshopping, I added all of this onto the original one, cut this off of the bottom, added a white background, put their logo in this format. So I use Photoshop for a lot. I Photoshop the heck out of stuff. So that's what I do. That's what I use to create graphics. Most things you can do it. I set my camera now on my cell phone to take all my photos in a square format as well as a 1-to-1 ratio, because most of the photos that we post and we take, I take on my phone. And so I automatically set my camera to that now as well.
A great one that I use a lot of is Canva.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's online, canva.com. Really user-friendly, inexpensive. I think there's a free version for public sector, I
And
think.
Bree teaches great webinars about how to use Canva. Just saying.
Right.
Yep, Renee Duggins teaches great webinars about how to use Canva
And she probably has some that are recorded on her site.
on her professional development site. Yep,
Yeah, I'll find the
I've
link.
got it right here.
Okay.
I
And
can
then
copy the
there
link.
is Canva, what I was gonna say, lost my train of thought. Canva also has pre-made for Instagram. It has the templates already, so it's real easy to just plug your stuff in and size it down to whatever you need.
There we go. So
Yeah.
I see these questions now. So Kim asks, have we thought about using TikTok? So yes, I have thought about using TikTok, and that's actually something that we're going to be working on. There also, you can do Snapchat for your agency as well. So TikTok and Snapchat are two of the ones that we are hoping to get on later this year. And then, oh yeah, everybody loves Brene because she's awesome. So can you utilize Facebook as a classroom-like network to include online testing and surveys? So last year, I did a few classes through Facebook Live for our community. So I did like Safe at Home to teach kids in between like 8 and 11 how to be safe at home in case their parents are working or something like that. And we offer those as events, and like what we do, we live stream it to Facebook so that people can attend that way, since not everybody uses Zoom. Now they do, but back in the beginning they didn't. So we would use Facebook basically as a classroom like that to show that. I don't know if that answers it, but yeah. And we post our surveys and stuff there too. How do you archive out of Snapchat? Yes, and that's something so that that's a really good question, Kim. How do we archive out of Snapchat? I would not know, and that's why we haven't quite set it up yet. So hopefully we use an agency that archives all of our social media stuff. So I'm sure once we get Snapchat set up, we'll just include that in it and they archive all of it for us. So yeah, any other questions?
I'm
Hopefully I
not
didn't
seeing
talk your guys'
anything. Are you,
ears off.
Sylvia?
I'm not seeing any others either.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is a great example between Sylvia and I. We're monitoring Facebook, we're monitoring the Q&A, we're monitoring the chat.
Multitasking for the win.
And also, so on the Facebook, if you've got questions on there, I'm sure Rebecca will go in and answer any questions that are underneath the live feed later on. And so just give her a little time, and sometime around the next day or two, I'm sure she'll be able to get to that.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Oh, I see them. Yeah. So Adobe Creative Suite. Yeah, I will go in and answer all of those questions that are on there for you guys. So.
Yeah. Rebecca, will you drop that link for Miss Breeze into the chat?
I thought I did already.
Let's see. I saw it on the page. Oh, there it is. Yeah, scroll up Who was
I
it?
can drop it again.
Donna. Yeah, Donna, if you
There you
scroll
go.
up, there you go.
Yep.
Bookmark that because she
I
adds.
have a bookmarked on my web browser,
Yeah.
so there we go.
Okay, Rebecca,
Okay.
that's only going to the panelists. It's not going to the attendees.
Oh, that's why. Oops, I'm so sorry.
I
There
did
we
that
go.
too. Don't feel
There we
bad.
go. Now it's to everyone.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay.
Thanks,
there
Kim.
you go. All right. I don't see any others. But if somebody thinks of something, throw it into the Facebook Live post on the.
And
Facebook
I will go
group.
in there and answer all of them. So
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for paying attention for the last hour and being here.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for presenting, and Ed, as always, thank you for being so awesome.
Yes.
Do you want to give a plug for your next one coming up?
Oh,
Sylvia?
yeah. Brent Faulkner is going to be with us next Friday. And right now I can't remember the time. And he'll be talking about his organization, Virtual CRR, and how it works to help communities or help residents be safe in their home. It's a really great organization. And so he'll have some good information on that. And with him, you'll be able to sign up and get his newsletter. I think it comes out weekly. At any
Mhm.
rate, it's good stuff. A lot of good things that we can all learn from with Brent. So I'm looking forward to hearing him.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap then. It's pretty interesting being able to put it out on Facebook simultaneously. So we learned that.
Yeah, it was
little bit.
great. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
And
Way to go, team.
Yes. Yay, team.
all right, but we'll see y'all later.
Thank you
All right.
guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.